the important endgame principle, do not rush. This is one of the difficult questions of the royal game. When to activate your forces, play as quickly, as forcefully as possible, and when to slow down the pace, to consolidate your position first and then to make progress only later. A good way to study this in endgames is, of course, looking at games of Magnus Carlsen or his opponent here, Vladimir Kramnik, or Anatoly Karpov. They really have an excellent feeling for exactly this question. Okay, so Magnus is to move with white against Vladimir Kramnik at the Tara Memorial 2013. And what to do? I think the position in a higher sense is a draw in any case, but what is the best winning try? To take the h5 pawn or to do something else? King g3 is right. It preserves the valuable winning potential of white's pawns, and then slowly Magnus wants to consolidate his position and then slowly advance with his pawns in the very long run. This should still be drawn, but I think it's a good winning try, because the direct leads to a direct draw. And this rook ending is completely drawn. It can be a draw agreed immediately, because Black is too active and the counterplay with the d pawn is too strong, and is completely drawn. While here, Black can still make mistakes. It is difficult over the board, because we again face the question to play h4 check to exchange pawns. The guideline was that the defender exchanges pawns. Or does this violate do not rush? Or is it better to play something else to bring, for example, the rook in a better position somehow? Yeah, and indeed, h4 check is a mistake. Kramnik must have miscalculated already the later endgame. I can make a guess which move he missed when he played here h4 check, because I think already here he had more or less the game continuation in mind. Golubev has already given in chess today the following variation, improving the rook and now cut off. And yeah, as Golubev thinks, I agree with him, this should be a draw and it should be relatively easy. Okay, white can still try something, and the bishop g6 may look bad, but of course, bad bishops defend good pawns, as Schuba has already put this. And here I think it's okay. The bishop is of course not really bad, and Black's rook is very active. This should be a draw, and it should not be so difficult to defend, especially for such an extremely strong player like Vladimir Kramnik. While h4 check violates do not rush, it plays into white's hands. And, of course, again, do not rush. King g3 first, consolidate all pieces first, and only later, in the very long run, advance the pawns. Now I cannot say if Black can still defend or not. I can only say that over the board it's extremely difficult. White has the much easier job. He has a clear long-term plan, and okay, short-term moves can be found, and this is one of the big strengths of Magnus Carlsen, I think, to convert such positions or to press with such positions. So okay, it might be better to play something else like rook f1, but I think that white still has the chances. When comparing these positions, this is a better practical chance, at least for white, to win than the other position was. As now white's pawns can come in the long run. While in the other position, it is much more difficult to activate white's kingside pawn majority. So I don't know, this may be a draw and maybe one for white, but it's already very unpleasant. Yeah. While rook f6 is another mistake. the question of the right exchange was wrongly answered by Kramnik, and I guess that he miscalculated. In a way, this also violates do not rush. He wants to exchange rooks immediately, but this just doesn't work. Now it's definitely lost. While after the alternatives, it is likely that it's lost, but I don't know. It might also be drawn with perfect defense, but who is human and defends perfectly? Okay. Yeah, now it is lost, and I guess that Kramnik has miscalculated when he violated do not rush like this. Yeah, king f4 is clear. Black is lost in any case, so this in a way violates do not rush or doesn't. It doesn't matter so much as black is already lost in all variations. And I guess that Kramnik had miscalculated here. He had only looked at king takes d2, king f4 and black draws when he started all this business. But that was a mistake. Do not rush. Stop king f4 first prophylactically. And now it's over. Of course, white still has to exercise some care and do it slowly with the whole army and so on, but Magnus, of course, now converts, despite the wrong rook spawn. Yeah. Slowly but surely, white wins according to the endgame table basis and also according to the game. Slowly. Improve the bishop first, and now everything is ready for the pawn advance. And again, improve everybody first. And of course, g4 would be taken. So it would be direct draw. So here it's clear that. Yeah, okay, and king g7, but white wins in all cases anyways. Now the pawn has advanced. The next step will be to bring the bishop, to cut off black's bishop defense, to bring the g-pawn to g5. Here, the bishop is forced to leave the diagonal, then g4 can be played. Kramnik makes a nice joke. Of course, 2 wrong rook pawns are as bad as 1, so Magnus, of course, doesn't take. And the next step will be to force the bishop away from that diagonal. Okay, first Kramnik makes another joke, but of course it's just ignored. And then finally Magnus has managed to maneuver, to threaten to maneuver his bishop to f7. And then either this wins or after bishop g6. Now it's of course time for action. Bishop g8 simplifies into a one pawn endgame, and so Kramnik resigned. But this I think is really difficult in endgames, to strike the right balance between activity, prophylaxis, do not rush. This is very difficult. And to develop a better feeling in that direction, it would be worth your time to analyze endgames like from Magnus Carlsen, Vladimir Kramnik, Anatoly Karpov, also Ulf Andersson, other great masters of the final phase of the game, because they usually have a very good feeling for exactly this difficult and important question.